What up? What up? Salute from the kingdom of the Son of God in the San Gabriel Valley. Hail Christ. Hail victory. Anyways, I want to talk about Trump or Biden. And of course, we're approaching the quote unquote election. Now, what's amazing to me is leading up to Trump's win in 2016, which was shocking. You know, as a patriot who's been involved in the patriot movement since the early 90s, like I would say since 1990, we always knew as patriots that the elections don't matter. Now, this is going all the way back then, right? So it was a trip to see that during 2016, all the patriots, all of a sudden, thought elections mattered, and we're all on the Trump train, buying into his rhetoric of making America great again. And one day I could talk about, maybe I'll do it here, that slogan itself is subversive, right? And anyways, so Trump wins. The Patriots are all, I knew back then, I go, this doesn't matter, man. What happened to the Patriot movement? Come on, guys. We all knew that there's no such thing as elections, and yet you're falling hook, line, and sinker for Trump's rhetoric, draining the swamp, building a wall, none of which happened. Not only did he not drain the swamp drained him, and the swamp grew, right? And the thing is that the apologists for Trump will say, well, they were coming against him and they weren't letting him do anything. Well, I thought he was so powerful that means he's not that great of a president, right? If he let them stop him. Okay, you can't say that about the chancellor in Germany, right? He actually had power for a while and did a lot of changes. But anyways, so, everybody thinks this election is like going to make or break this country. And I got news for you guys. It doesn't matter who wins. And whoever wins, it's going to be good for the true patriots. Why? Because I'm telling you guys, we are headed for civil war. We are headed for a balkanization of this country, right? And if you're a true patriot, that's what you want. Because there is no healing, there is no uniting and healing this country. There is all that bullcrap spouted by these boomers. Oh, we just need to understand that. We're wrong past that. Understanding each other, uniting. You cannot unite two so radically opposed ideologies. And the conservatives, in their attempt to placate the left, have given up ground on almost every significant issue. Abortion, sodomy, the gun control issues, right? The immigration. So there is no healing that breach. There is no healing that wound between these two opposing ideologies. And what is it with people that are obsessed with unity, right? Whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, whoever said people have to be unified, right? Now, you are to be unified with those that share your worldview, okay? That's what Jesus was talking about. In fact, from a Christian perspective, Jesus came to bring division. So I don't get this obsession with let's just unite. We need unity in this time. There's so much division, because that division is meant to be there. Because two opposing worldviews cannot unite. That is a retarded mentality. To say that the worldview of the left, which is basically Marxist Bolshevists, there's no uniting with that. There's no making peace with that. There can be no peace with Democrats, liberals, Marxists, Bolsheviks, Black Lives Matter, Antifa. There can't be no peace. And that's why a true patriot doesn't give a rip about who wins the election, because he knows that it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And he knows whether Trump or Biden wins, he's going to benefit. Why? What is the advantage of Biden wins? Well, it's just going to radicalize the right more, which is what we need, right? There are too many right-wing conservative cucks and just weak. They're so weak. They give up ground on everything. They're so scared of the left that they're scared of being called right-wing. They're scared of being called racist, anti-Semitic, homophobic, misogynistic. They're so scared of those labels that the left heaps on them. And one of the things they always say is like, oh, well, the left's the real racist, and I think you should just own those things. Say, screw the left. Well, what if Biden wins? It's just going to radicalize people even more. See, these fake patriots that you see running around, these boomers, these conservatives, these Judeo-Christians, these MAGA people, they know deep down that Trump winning is not a long-term solution. I hope they know. But what they want is a temporary comfort. They want a temporary comfort because they think by Trump winning, the economy will get better, and it might. But it's only going to be very temporal. See, that's the problem with the conservative movement. They just want to conserve what's left instead of radically uprooting the Marxist left, the people and their ideologies. And to radically uproot that, it needs to be a whole change. Having Trump win is a very small Band-Aid on the open, gaping wound. Very small Band-Aid on an open, gaping wound. And all it is the typical materialistic conservatives, capitalists that they don't want their good goyim tokens taken away. They just want less taxes. They want to see inflation stop and roll back somewhat, and they're going to be happy. So they can go to their sports ball games, so they can go eat that goy slop at McDonald's, so they can chug down beers if they're on the couch watching, their sports ball. That's what the conservative wants. The conservative doesn't care about people. He cares about his bank account. Everything, the conservative movement, everything behind their ideals and their agenda is materialism, money. That's why they're against immigration. Now, I'm sure there's some conservatives that are against illegal immigration because of the danger it poses to the culture. But a lot of it is, it's an economy, right? Because it'll take jobs away from Americans. See, again, the conservative is worried about his good goyim tokens, not the people. See, a true patriot, which is a nationalist, not a libertarian. See, a lot of the patriots in my time, and myself included, we were libertarian-minded, right? But we see that doesn't work. We see libertarianism doesn't work. So the better view for a patriot is nationalism. And a nationalist and a conservative are not the same thing. Why? Because conservatives, they believe in American imperialism. They believe in globalism. They believe we should be fighting wars, especially for Israel. Because conservatives believe that America should financially and militarily support Israel. Well, you're not a patriot if you believe that. You're not a patriot. True patriots are isolationists. They don't want to be involved in foreign wars. The benefit of Biden winning is it further radicalizes the right, and it will push some of these conservatives into nationalism. Right? Nationalists are not, how should I say, they're not materialistic. It's not about money. Their ideals are not driven by materialism and by money and by capital. Their ideals are driven by the culture, chivalry, virtuous, honor culture, people preserving a healthy society for the future. See, the nationalist, the patriot nationalist, true patriot, doesn't want all the toys, doesn't want all the material possessions. That's the conservative mindset. That's the boomer conservative, neoconservative mindset. It's capitalism. The true patriot, the nationalist, simply wants to be able to own a small home without going into debt, be able to feed his family, worship God and his son Jesus Christ according to their conscience. That's true patriotism right there. The right to bear arms, protect your family. They're taking that away in this country. Everything the conservative movement justifies its ideals on is financial. The true patriot, their ideals are driven by people, by preserving the culture of our people, by preserving an honor culture, health, freedom, and not freedom to do evil. That was never part of the American Declaration of Independence. There was never free. See, this is the problem with the left. This is the problem with liberals and Democrats. They think freedom means the freedom to be a degenerate, to do evil. That's not what true freedom is. That's not the American ideal of freedom. So Biden wins, it only benefits the patriot movement. Why? Because it's going to further radicalize people to our side. Now, if Trump wins, does it benefit us too? I think yes, because I think with Trump, one of two ways it can go. It can go where Trump gives the patriot movement a little more time. Maybe slows down some of that illegal immigration. Maybe helps the economy a little bit. Little more time. That could be a benefit. Or Trump, as he's mentioned, is going to start taking away free speech. Again, will further radicalize the right. Trump is a Trojan horse, guys. I believe Trump is a pawn to subdue people, to placate the right, to placate true patriots, and think that he's the solution. He's a pawn. That's why they may put him back to do the same thing he did in 2016. But it is inevitable, friends. If you have your ear to the pulse of this nation, civil war is coming. There can be no unity between people of opposing world views. That is foolish. It is stupid. There just can't be. You pray for it all day long. It can't be. I've been hearing this since about 2010. Our country's so divided and, crying about it. No, be thankful. Division is good. It is healthy. It is healthy to have division. It's healthy to have division. The question is, do you want it? But just know that there's a difference between conservatives and nationalists. See, a conservative wants America to be a global power, wants America to be globalist and imperialist. They want America involved in foreign wars, especially in the Middle East, on behalf of a chosen people. The nationalist doesn't want that. The nationalist ideology is not driven by capital. It's not driven by how many material possessions we can obtain by policies. Not driven by economics, other than preserving a healthy economy for the American people, so a man can own a home, have a family, have his wife stay at home, raise the kids, raise his kids according to according to his conscience. Raising his kids in the ways of God, according to his conscience in Christ. We need listen. This separation of church and state stuff, totally twisted by the left to say, "Oh, no God in the public square." That's a lie, because the separation of church and state meant that they would have never had Bibles being taught in school. What did separation of church and state mean? It just meant no establishment of the state church. That's all it meant. But they taught the Bible in schools. See, the undertaking of returning America to its roots is a monumental task. And it's going to take men and even women of strong will to accomplish it. But I believe it can be done. We have no other choice. If you are a parent, grandparent, or even none of those things, but you just care about people, waiting for a rapture to come save you, or Jesus to come fix these things, you're a fool. You're a fool. Straight up. The rapture is a fool's paradise. It is a fool's paradise. But the ideal situation for the Patriot is for Biden to win, because it's further going to radicalize the right. And the right needs to get past this conservative bullcrap, and they need to become nationalistic. Like I said, nationalism, your policies and your ideology is not driven by capital, by finance, by money, by materialism. That's a conservative worldview. And where do the conservatives get their worldview? From Judeo-Christianity, from Calvinism, which is very materialistic, very carnal. An American nationalist, a patriot, gets his worldview from virtue, from honor culture, chivalry. It's about people, culture. And economy is subservient to those things. In conservatism, people are subservient to economy and capital. And just be prepared. That's why I say, like, people are so asleep. Again, listen, the things that I mentioned, sports ball, sitting down, maybe having a beer, watching a game, I do. The question is that a big part of your life? That's the problem. Is that a big part of your life? Is that keeping you from training your body? You better get prepared for hard times, American. You better get prepared for some severe hard times. I mean, you go to the grocery store, you go to get a bite to eat. You know how expensive things are: gas, inflation. If Biden gets elected, it's going to get worse. Trump gets elected, it may improve for a bit, but it's going to be a temporal thing. A temporal thing just to calm people down, just to placate people. And if Biden gets reelected, guaranteed, he will not finish out his 4-year term, because just look at how this guy's on death's door, right? Not guaranteed, but there's a great chance he won't finish his 4-year term. Where does that leave us? Kamala, the Gundan giant, right? You better prepare, American. You better realize what that Declaration of Independence says. And do not let these leftist pigs, these Marxist Bolshevik pigs, these communist pigs interpret it for you. You go back to the founders of our country and our great nation, and you let them translate it to you as it is written. You know what they meant. You know they would have never approved of this garbage we have today. They would have never approved of it. Absolutely not. Again, been in this thing since 1990, the Patriot movement. I was in a group, a Patriot group, organization, whatever you want to call it. The problem with the Patriot movement was it got seduced in 2016 by Donald Trump, and it's happening again. See this MAGA thing, getting to MAGA now, how that's subversive, make America great again? Because what they mean by make America great again is going back to the 1950s. No. We got to go back farther before the Civil War. If you really want to make America great again, you got to go back way farther. Way farther. The 50s was a deception. Why? Because it was right after World War II, where we aided the communist Bolsheviks in destroying Germany, destroying the National Socialists. And we fought on the wrong side. We fought on the wrong side. We fought on the side of the synagogue of Satan, Babylon. We fought on the side of Jerusalem, and helped them annihilate Germany, which is what the Jews have wanted to do for several hundred years. They've wanted to destroy the Germans. They have a hatred towards Germany and the Germanic peoples. And World War II was the beginning. Not the beginning of the end for our country was the Civil War. But World War II was the fait accompli for our country. It was right after World War II, after that brief 15-year period of prosperity, you had the Civil Rights Movement, which is Marxist. The feminist movement got on steroids. Riots in all our cities in the 60s. The subversive hippie movement, abortion, proliferation of what do they call that? Abortion and whatever that birth control. The removal of tight censorship on TV and radio and motion pictures. And who did it? It was Jews. Jews admit that they're the ones who changed the censorship rules. And that's why we have the filth we do on TV since then. If you think things are bad now on TV, you should watch TV sitcoms from the late 60s through the 70s. How subversive it was. So we got to go back farther to make America great. We got to go back before the Civil War. And one of the things that has to be rooted out is this Judeo-Christianity. It has to be rooted out. It's a disease. Judeo-Christianity is a disease. But again, there can be no unity with the left. The left is a demonic life force. Democrats, liberals, anybody that supports like Obama, Biden, it's a demonic life force. Trump is different. It's a deception. It's a pawn to seduce the right into being comfortable instead of taking action themselves. And what we got to do as Americans, what a true patriot believes in, is no foreign wars. We don't get involved in foreign wars. We don't spread imperialism. We're isolationists. That's true patriot doctrine. It's true patriot doctrine. See, the reason why a lot of the patriot movement and the time I was in it was libertarian is because we didn't see the promotion and filth of the sodomite movement, right? We didn't see that. But now that we do see that, we realize libertarianism doesn't work. So that's why the nationalist worldview is the worldview par excellence for a patriot. Now, one of the things we have to get rid of also is the Democrat-Republican Party. We have to get rid of political parties, period. And I believe in this, and what I believe will sound counterintuitive to how America was founded, but I believe we need a monarchy, but not a bloodline monarchy, but a monarchy that can be voted in. And the vote, universal suffrage, needs to be taken away. I don't believe women should vote. Okay, women voting has been disastrous for this nation. I go by results, not feelings. Women voting has been disastrous. The vote needs to be taken away from them. And I believe in order to vote, you must confess Christ as King, right? Be a Christian American citizen of good standing. Confess Christ as King. No felonies. And you vote in the monarch. And I would create blasphemy laws. You cannot blaspheme Christ publicly. Okay? Synagogues and mosques would not be allowed. Okay? They would not be allowed. See, we're going to go to the root of the issue here. We're not going to see conservatives, MAGA patriots, conservatives, they want to deal with all the superficial stuff. Because what? Because of my finances, my money, my capitalism. We're going to go to the root. Turn state constitutions with Christian declarations the way they originally were. They were Christian declarations. People couldn't hold office unless they were a Christian. That's what the country was about. That's what I'm saying. You go back before the Civil War. Go back before the Civil War. Now, I would allow other religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, and all these other religions. I would allow it because I don't think they're a threat to Christianity because they're not Abrahamic. What I would ban is the other Abrahamic religions like Islam and Judaism. Right? I would ban those. And yeah, obviously we would shut the borders down. I mean, even legal immigration, I would stop it for a long time. I'd stop it for a long time. And you know, capitalists, conservative, patriots, they love illegal immigration, and they love legal immigration. Why? Because it gives their business owners, who are largely conservative Republicans, cheaper labor. That's what I'm telling you. Conservatism is a total cuck, anti-American movement. Neoconservatism, conservatism, mega patriots are anti-American. They want globalism too. They want America to be a global power, globalists, and they want cheap labor coming in. That's why they believe in capitalism, cheap labor, more money for the rich. See, capitalism is it's an attack of the rich on the poor. Communism is an attack on the poor on the rich. Nationalism is neither. Nationalism is just loving your people, that the economy submits to the people, not the people to the economy. That's what conservatism is. The people submitting to the economy. The ideology of conservatism is the economy, capitalism. Everything is driven by money and capital. What's good for money? What's going to make us the most money? Nationalism is not like that. The true patriot who's a nationalist, no. The economy submits to the health of the people, to the culture of the people, to the honor of the people. It works for the people, not people being these going slaves, slaving away for low wages because these conservatives are allowing immigration to come in so that they have cheaper labor. Nationalism puts the people first. Conservatism puts money first. It's materialistic because it gets its doctrine from Judeo-Christianity and Calvinism, which are materialistic, carnal worldviews. Nationalism is a worldview of the soul. It is a chivalric worldview, an honor worldview, an honor culture. Right? It's very Aryan, whereas conservatism is of the Judeo worldview. So whoever wins out of this, it's going to be good, because we're headed for civil war. We're going to balkanize, and it has to happen. It has to. There's no fixing this. There's no fixing this. So it has to be uprooted, and the only way you do that is those two things I mentioned. Be prepared. Again, like I said, I love to watch a game and drink beer as much as the next guy, but that ain't my world. That ain't my lifestyle. Too many American men need to get off their butts, stop eating the potato chips on the couch, train their bodies for war, because it's only going to be men and women with iron will that's going to get this job done and return our country to its roots. And we're going back, like I said, before the Civil War. That was the beginning of the end of America, the Civil War. And don't fall for this Abraham Lincoln bullcrap. He was an awful president. The last real president we had in this nation was JFK, who was assassinated by Mossad, by Israel. That's a whole other thing, man. That's a whole other thing. Let me tell you something. We are going to win. We are going to return this country to its foundational roots. We're going to return it to Christ. We are going to win. There's no question about it. And the left, they're going to lose. The liberals, they're going to lose. The America haters, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, they're going to lose big time. They are going to lose. Anyways, hail victory. Christ is King.